So I recently took a 10.5-hour flight from Phoenix to Frankfurt, Germany. And for the first time in my travels, I upgraded my ticket to business class. So was it worth it? I'm going to tell you all about it so you can decide if you want to spend your hard-earned cash on an upgrade on your next long-haul flight, because it is quite a bit more expensive to do business class. I'm sure it's the same with you. Long-haul flights aren't usually something that I'm going to get too excited about it. But this time was a little different because I did upgrade my economy ticket to the business class on Condor Airlines. And so I was excited to see what it was going to be like. It's the first time I've really spent that money to do that. So I was curious to see how it compared to the experience of being in economy or even premium economy, and is it really worth spending that extra money for the upgrade? I thought I'd do a video about it, and I'm going to take you along for my plane ride, give you my honest review of whether flying business class on Condor was worth it. And I would guess that it's probably similar to if you're going to upgrade on any airline, although I know there are some that are, more luxurious than others. If you just discovered me and my channel, then welcome. I'm Lori. I'm a solo traveler, and I like to make videos that share the travel tips that I use as a solo traveler and a traveler, along with how to overcome some challenges that just solo travelers face. And I know a lot of times there's some overlap between just traveling and solo traveling, but I do have videos that are specific to solo travel. So if that's something that you're interested in, please check out my channel and subscribe. Okay, let's talk about business class. I've always dreamed of when taking a long haul flight, of reclining in a spacious seat, sipping on a glass of champagne, enjoying that personalized service that it looks like those passengers are getting on those long haul flights. But let's face it, the cost of business class can be expensive, and I never really knew if it was truly worth that added cost. So this time on my most recent trip, I did take the leap, and I'm going to give you the real deal on what you can expect from Condor's business class, the amenities, the seating, and the overall experience. Also, there was something that really surprised me, and I'm going to share that with you at the end of this video. So I'll give you a hint. It has to do with the price. All right, just a quick background on Condor Airlines, because you may not have heard of them. Condor is a German-based leisure airline, and it has a hub in Frankfurt. So they offer medium and long-haul flights, and they fly nonstop from 12 major airports in the United States. So I flew on their new Airbus A330neo, which has this business class cabin with 30 seats, and they're set out in a 1-2-1 layout. Condor also has some really unique decor, a lot of stripes going on. Some people think it's a bit in your face, but I liked it. It definitely gave off some vacation vibes for me. Okay, so my trip started out a bit rocky. I had read reviews online before booking with Condor, and a lot of them mentioned that their flights get delayed. Of course, that's not something anyone wants, and I was really hoping that it wasn't going to happen to me. However, it did, both on the flight to Germany and the flight back from Germany, and not by a small amount. I had a 4-hour delay on the flight there and a 2-hour delay on the flight home. And since Germany was not my final destination, I had connecting flights to catch. And as all of us know, when you have a delay with your first flight, it has this domino effect, and then all your other flights, you're either going to be running to catch them, or you're going to have to rebook on another flight that's going to get you in later. Now, luckily, I had booked all my flights with my connecting flights with Condor, so they did get me to my final destination. However, a 4-hour delay to start put me there at midnight instead of early evening, which wasn't ideal because I'm in a foreign country, and I'm trying to find an Airbnb at midnight. Not so great. So keep that in mind. It seems from the reviews and my own personal experience that there's a higher likelihood of delays when you're booking with Condor. If you can accept that and just kind of roll with it and not get stressed out, it'll help. Let's first talk about how things went, my experience at the airport. So check-in was super easy. One of the perks of flying in business class was that I had a dedicated check-in line. I think there was one person ahead of me. It was super quick. Now, I don't normally have any membership in any airport lounges, but my business class ticket gave me access to the airport lounge in Phoenix. After finding out about that 4-hour delay, I did get to the airport early. I headed straight to the business lounge, and with such a long delay, it was a really great perk to have. The airport lounge that I had access to, it was a bit small, but it was comfortable. It had a buffet with food, snacks, every kind of drink you could possibly want, along with a full bar. If you wanted to order something alcoholic, all of that was included in the lounge access. So I'm going to say that was a really nice perk to have because I was able to get some food with that long delay, and I had a nice glass of wine, and I was able to wait in a quieter place that wasn't crowded in a nice comfortable chair while I was waiting for my flight. When I did head down to my gate for boarding, I could see that that area was packed and there was tons of people all crowded together. I probably would not have had a seat, so having that lounge access was really a great perk. And I've never really thought about lounge access, even as a solo traveler, and I travel a lot. I didn't really know what that experience was like, to know if it was worth trying to pursue, maybe a credit card that offers that. Suffice it to say, I really enjoyed the lounge access both on the flight there and on the flight back. And I will say the lounge in Frankfurt was amazing. Huge, very spacious, great food. I really like that lounge. Let's talk about boarding the plane. So business class passengers, they're given priority, which of course makes the whole process really smooth. You get to get on there first, and it's really stress-free. Stepping onto the plane, I did like the cabin design. Navy blue with stripes, looks really nautical, and it was really, really nice to take my time just settling into my seat, because the business class section doesn't have other passengers walking through to get their seats. They board behind you through a separate door. So there's only 30 seats in business class, so it's me and 29 other people. Actually, my flight wasn't even full in the business class section on the way to Frankfurt. So it was just really nice to take my time, put my bag up, settle into my seat, get that glass of champagne. That was a great experience. And the layout of the seats, so there's like one by the window, two in the middle, one by the other window. That means everyone has direct aisle access from their seat. So you don't have to climb over your neighbor to get up, to walk to the bathroom, or to just walk around. And speaking of the bathroom, I actually was expecting a bit more of an upgraded experience. It was pretty basic. However, there were 2 of them, and of course I was only sharing that with like the 19 other people that were on my flight versus 280 people back behind me in economy and premium economy who had to share, a couple of bathrooms. So of course that was an upgraded experience. So the bathroom did have in it some lotion, which smelled amazing. That lotion was incredible. Mouthwash and some other toiletries in the bathrooms that were really nice to have when you're on that long haul flight to just kind of freshen up. Once I was settled into my seat, I was impressed by the spaciousness. The seat itself stretches out to 6.5 feet long, and then it's 19 inches wide, which was plenty of room for me to get comfy. The seat controls allow you to recline it in different positions, or of course lie flat, which is what you're going to want to do when you want to get some sleep, which is exactly what I did. But during most of the flight, I did have it in a reclined position. There is plenty of leg room to stretch out or pull out the table, which is oversized. There's a coat hook and a storage compartment. You also have a really nice area next to you to place like your reading glasses, your earbuds, any other items you want to keep just handy. Then, of course, you have the 17-inch screen to watch your movies on, and I did take full advantage of that. There were plenty of movies. There were about 200 movies and over 100 TV shows that you could choose from, and that definitely kept me occupied during that long flight. Let's talk about the seat selection. The seats in the even numbered rows near the windows, A and K, those are really good for solo travelers because they're going to have extra distance from the aisle, which is a more private feel. And you also get a window. For those traveling with a companion and you want to sit next to them, the middle seats, which would be E and F, are in the odd numbered rows, and that would be a better seating arrangement if you've got someone you want to chat with on your trip. Since I was traveling solo, I selected a window seat. However, it was the last one before the bathrooms. The bathrooms were right behind me, which is not a great location. Didn't matter during the day, but during the night when I was sleeping, I would have travelers opening and closing that door behind me. So keep that in mind. Select a different seat if you can. It wasn't a deal breaker. I still got a good night's sleep, but it's not the most ideal seat in that configuration. All right, you also get a little amenity kit with your seat, and that included some comfort items like an eye mask, some socks, which were very cheap ones, I'm going to have to admit, and white and blue stripes, nothing I would ever wear. Lotion, which smelled fabulous again, lip balm, and a toothbrush set. So I used every one of those, even the socks for just a little bit, but then I took those off and put on the pair that I normally have with me in my bag because they're nice and fuzzy, and the socks they provided definitely subpar. A nice touch was there are noise canceling headphones for you to use when you're watching your movies, so that was a great perk. It was also really nice to recline my chair, put on those headphones, and get comfy. You're provided with slippers, again, very low end, but they did the trick for walking around if you needed to. Because you're wearing your socks, just put those slippers on, take a quick walk to the bathroom. You also get a mattress topper so that when you're ready to sleep, you can put that mattress topper down and then you get a blanket and a pillow. I loved having the blanket. I reclined my seat, I had my blanket and my headphones and watched my movies. That was a great experience. Okay, let's dish about the food because you hopefully are expecting a better meal in business class. Actually get a menu in business class with Condor with some pretty good options. It's a gourmet menu. It has a selection of 3 main courses that you can choose from. Plus, of course, you get free drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, snacks, and breakfast or dinner before landing. Before dinner, you're going to be served appetizers first, and these are really quite substantial. Smoked salmon, a fennel salad, and a German pretzel, just to name a few. And then you're going to select which course you want, of course. So some of those choices in the main course menu would be Cajun chicken breast with potato wedges, a cod fillet with pea puree, creamed cabbage, and lobster bisque, or Italian tagliatelle with truffle cream sauce and spinach. And then, of course, you get dessert, which on my flight was a lemon tartlet, which I very much enjoyed. So I did enjoy the appetizers. The main course was good. I wouldn't say it was fantastic. I did love the variety of breads I was given. And of course, it was just so nice to enjoy a glass of wine with my dinner, along with some sparkling water. So yes, thumbs up on that experience. Breakfast in the morning, definitely a treat. While the omelet was not to my liking, and I do really normally enjoy omelets, just not this one. Breakfast was a bowl of fresh fruit, some cold cut meats and cheese, a croissant, and that omelet. So with breakfast, you'll get a glass of orange juice and your choice of coffee or tea. Meals are served on proper dishes with metal silverware and not flimsy plastic. And of course, it's just a great way to start your journey when you're sitting there waiting to take off and you've got that glass of champagne. So it did feel quite special. Moving on to sleeping. Let's talk about sleeping in business class. This is actually the main reason I upgraded my flight. As having traveled to Europe before in economy and premium economy, it's still nothing to look forward to. I have a really hard time sleeping on a plane no matter the length of my trip, especially of course if you're sitting up, and even with a window seat, I can't seem to get a pillow wedged in properly to get comfortable, and then just having to deal with connecting flights and jet lag after a night of no sleep or very little sleep. It's exhausting. It exhausts me. So, did it make a difference being able to sleep properly in business class? 1,000,000,000% yes. With that seat laid out flat, the mattress topper on top of it, a pillow and a blanket along with my eye mask, I was able to get some great sleep. I was a bit annoyed with some fellow business class travelers who decided to have a conversation in the middle of the night in just their regular speaking voices instead of being courteous to their fellow sleeping travelers and whispering. Also a bit annoyed that the flight attendants didn't notice and come over and ask them to lower their voices. But other than that, it was uneventful in a really good way. You can ask for earplugs before going to sleep, or of course bring your own. I didn't do that. That would most likely have remedied the situation. Now, the one thing that surprised me the most was price, actually. The options that are available to upgrade your flight to business class, they were more budget friendly than I expected. Now, the initial cost of this flight, which is actually why I chose it, was relatively inexpensive. I first booked my round trip ticket to Florence, Italy on Condor for $760 in economy class. I felt that was a big bargain because I've been watching fares for quite a while, waiting for them to go down. They've been hovering around that $1,000 for economy class mark. And then when I saw that fare at $760, I snagged it, and I'm glad I did. And I would do the same thing again instead of selecting business class first. And here's why. Business class seats can get cheaper closer to departure because airlines offer discounted upgrades to fill those empty seats. So if you know you want to upgrade to, say, Condor's business class, there are a few ways you can snag that upgrade, and I was really surprised at how many options they had. So first up, just advanced booking. You can log into your booking, your original booking on economy class on Condor's website and choose an upgrade before your flight. That's the most straightforward way to do it. If you absolutely know that you want a business class seat and you don't want to take the chance that one won't be available, if you select the other ways I'm going to talk about next. Next way to upgrade is with your online check-in. So starting 24 hours before departure, you can go online to check in and you could select a business class seat if there are any available. Keep an eye out during that check-in window. You may snag a good deal on an upgrade. If you miss the online option, and a lot of times on international flights, you cannot check in online. You have to do it at the airport. So you can also try to upgrade at your airport check-in. Just ask the staff at the counter if there are any business class seats available. So as I mentioned, on my flight to Europe, there were seats available, but on the flight back, it was full. So you do take a risk if you wait till checking in at the airport, as business class may already be full, and then you'd be greatly disappointed if you were really looking forward to having that lie-down seat. Lastly, there's the Seat Boost app. Condor offers live auctions for upgrades starting 24 hours before departure on this app. What you do is go onto the app and you bid during the auction period for the price that you're willing to pay to upgrade to a business class seat. The auction closes about 60 minutes before your flight, so make sure you're on it if you want to give it a shot. The options give you several chances to score that business class seat without necessarily paying that full fare difference up front. So if you're on the fence about upgrading, you might want to try one of these methods and then make your decision. All right, so what's the verdict? For me, the extra price for business class, absolutely worth it, not even a question. I felt so safe and happy in my little cocoon in business class. The comfort of that lie flat seat, which made it possible to get that good night's sleep, the elevated dining experience, and the level of service from the flight attendants, along with the priority boarding and the lounge access, all made a huge difference in the experience that I had. And I was able to arrive in Europe feeling rested and full. So there you have it, my honest review of flying business class on Condor Airlines. I hope this helps you decide if it's worth splurging on your next long-haul flight for that business class experience. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And hey, I'd love to hear your thoughts if you have flown business class on a long-haul flight, or if you're considering it, what your experience was like. Please, shoot me a comment below. Thanks for watching. Safe travels.